one thing you want from your vehicle is that it starts every time you turn the key. To be sure of that, you need to be sure your battery cables and terminals are in good condition. If they're corroded or damaged, they need replacing. We're going to look at battery cables and terminals right here, right now, to help you learn what needs to be done and how to do it. Welcome to the AutoZone DIY Garage. You already know that batteries require maintenance. The maintenance you provide helps extend the life of your vehicle's battery. The number one enemy of a good electrical connection between the battery and the starter is corrosion. Battery terminals and battery cable terminals should be checked for corrosion every time your vehicle's serviced. Did you know corrosion on the battery terminals may not be visible until the battery cable terminals have been disconnected? Cables should always be disconnected before testing a battery and corrosion removed from the battery terminals and cable terminal ends. Some corrosion can be cleaned off with a brush. In case of bad corrosion, the entire cable or cable terminal must be replaced. To carry out a routine battery service, begin by placing a cover over the fender of the vehicle. Visually inspect for damaged cables, loose connections, corrosion, cracked covers, as well as loose hold-downs and terminal posts. If any connections are clean but loose, tighten them. Clean corrosion, dirt or rust from the hold-downs, battery or battery tray with a wire brush. A handy tool to use in battery maintenance is an AutoZone battery terminal brush cleaner. For corrosion on the battery terminal posts, use the terminal cleaning brush to clean tapered posts and the mating surfaces of a battery cable's lead terminal. Wire brushes should not be used on stamped metal cable terminal ends since brushing may wear away the terminal's corrosion-resistant surface. A non-abrasive brush should be used instead. In case of bad corrosion or serious damage, the choice has to be made between replacing the cable's terminal end or the entire cable. If the cable already has a temporary terminal end bolted on, consider replacing the entire cable. Otherwise, unless you find evidence of major damage to the cable, you can cut off the damaged end and replace it with a new one. If you're going to replace the terminal, follow these steps. We've removed the battery to make it easier to explain, and as you can see, our battery cables and terminals are fine, but we're going to replace one anyway to demonstrate. First, disconnect the grounded battery cable before replacing the terminal on either cable. Then, remove the old terminal by cutting or sawing as close to the cable's terminal as possible. Next, strip the cable insulation approximately 3/4 of an inch from the cable end. And loosen the back plate on the replacement terminal by unscrewing the two back plate bolts. For smaller cables, turn the back plate over to assure a tighter fit. Then, insert the bare end of the cable into the threaded opening below the back plate and tighten both bolts firmly. Be sure to use sufficient pressure against the bare wire to assure that no insulation is under the back plate. Bare wire should extend 1/8 of an inch beyond the terminal. Okay, now clean the battery post and remember that the ground cable always gets connected last. Place the battery cable terminal over the battery post and tighten firmly. Never hammer the terminal onto the post. If it is too tight, spread the terminal enough to fit onto the post. Well, that's the story on cleaning and replacing battery cable terminal ends. We hope this has been helpful to you in carrying out the maintenance of your vehicle. And don't forget, it always helps to consult with someone you trust. For more details on battery cable and terminal end replacement or any other automotive subject, be sure to talk to the folks at AutoZone. Remember, parts are just a part of what we do.